Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm excited to share a narrative story of my favorite movie star, Jason Statham. The movie name is Wrath of Man. It has the IMDb rating of 7.2, which is awesome. This movie is directed and produced by Guy Ritchie, Ivan Atkinson and Bill Block. So without delay, let's roll the intro. So the scene starts with an armored vehicle with two guards inside. Now the truck is full of money, so of course it'll get robbed. Now the armored vehicle was just out from the depot gate. A truck suddenly stopped in front of them. Out from the truck, some robbers appeared and they robbed the armored vehicle, killing the two guards and escaped from there. Now the whole movie is divided into 4 parts or chapter. So the first part is A Dark Spirit. In the next scene, we can see a man named H, short name for Patrick Hill, was hired as security guard for the company Fortigo, who transferred cash from bank to depot. It is the same company vehicle which was shown in the first scene. This company acts as a middleman for money transfer. Now before really getting hired, Hill has to go through some training session where his performance should be 70%. The company checked Hill's background and found that he was clean in his previous service at Orange Delta Company. Now he was assigned under a trainer named Bullet, and his training started immediately and Hill attained exact 70% and was assigned for his job. Now in the locker room, Hill was introduced with everyone by Bullet, where he met with Bob and Dave. Dave didn't like Hill with their conversation and told Hill to stay away from him. Now Hill has a pro attitude, which the rest of the crew or staffs didn't like him as a newcomer. Hill was given service pistol and all the other equipments. Hill was assigned with Dave and Bullet, knowing that Dave didn't like it and told Hill to stay away from him. In the next scene, they headed for a job with armored vehicle to transfer the cash of $2 million. Now Dave told Hill about the incident which we had seen at the beginning of the movie and told Hill he was supposed to go that day but couldn't because he was sick. They finally reached the location and took $2 million and came back safely. After the job was done, all the crew members had to submit their IDs. While submitting ID, Shirley told Bullet that Hill might have some dark history, and hearing that, Bullet was curious about Hill. Bullet asked Hill for beer and pool, and Hill told him to wait. Now we can see Hill staring at ID as if he's trying to search for someone. Now, John, the chief security in charge, was intimidated by his fellow mates to tell Hill that he doesn't like him. As John approached Hill, he tried to talk with him, but he gave him some money for beer and told him he don't want to talk with John. Now Bullet praised Hill for his cunning approach towards John without having any problem. Now, in the next scene, we can see Hill got assigned with another job for transferring 10 grand at the shipyard dock. They were waiting for Bullet to return in their armored vehicle. Dave tried calling Bullet and found out he was captured by some robbers. Those robbers told them to come to their instructed place if they want to see Bullet alive. Now Dave was panicking and told Hill not to go, but Hill convinced Dave to save Bullet as he was their teammates. They reached at the place and Hill killed every robbers and saved Bullet without a single scratch. Now Dave and Bullet were shocked with his performance. Moving on. In the next scene, we can see two agents came after hearing what Hill has done and ask about his background. Even after having an average performance on training, how can he pull off with such ambush? Hill replied, "Kill or be killed." Later, those agents asked him about the previous incident, whether or not it has any link with his recent incident. Hill replied, he don't know, and he went out. Now, Terry, Hill's superior officer, told him to take some rest, but Hill denied and chose to do his job. At that moment, the owner of the Fortigo company, Blake Halls, came and praised Hill for his courageous act and told him he will have a bright future. Blake Halls suggested Terry not to lose him at any cost, and it is good for the company and told to promote him. In the next scene, we can see those two agents talking with one man in black suit, Agent King, and those two agents address him as boss and told about Patrick Hill. Now, Agent King told them not to interfere and to let him do his work. In the next scene, we can see a lady named Christy delivered Fortigo personal file to Hill, and inside the file it contained information about Dana Curtis, one of his fellow men. Back in the station, Hill was welcomed with praise from everyone. Bullet and Hill got another job to transfer, and they went out, where they came across some robbers again. Now, seeing the face of Hill, all the robbers walked away from there. Now, Terry couldn't believe about the incident as to how is it possible that all the robbers walked away after seeing his face. Blake Hall was very impressed and called him legend. Terry told Mr. Hall that he could be some psychopath. After that, Dana Curtis asked Hill for a beer. Meanwhile, Dave and Bullet were talking about Hill, and Bullet told Dave something is wrong and he can feel some dark spirit from Hill. And that satisfies the first chapter. In the next scene, we can see Hill interrogating Dana in her house about the money he found. Dana didn't answer at first, but after scaring her with gun, Dana told Hill that she stole from Trolley and kept it for retirement fund. Hill told Dana she can keep the money in one condition, that if she knows anything about the robbers which we have seen at the starting of the movie. Now let's head in the next chapter named Scorched Earth. In the first scene we were taken 5 months earlier, where we can see Hill and his son Doggy were trying to hang out for lunch. But Hill got a call from Mike telling him to watch over a money truck which is 10 minutes far away from him. Hill tried to avoid the job, but Mike told him there is no one to do this job as Mike himself is out of town. So Hill had to take this job out of option. Now they reached to the spot, and Hill told his son to stay inside the car and that he'll go and get some burritos. Now from that spot, an armored money van came out, and Hill told Mike that the vehicle turned left. Here we can see that it is the same scene which we saw in the beginning of the movie. Anyway, those robbers who looted the van killed Doggy, Hill's son, and he himself got shot while trying to save his son. Now the next scene shifted to 3 weeks later inside the hospital, where we can see Hill coming to conscious and ask the doctor about his son Doggy. The doctor told him he died and was devastated badly. Now Hill's wife Jane blamed him for the death of their son. Hill went to Agent King asking for any lead regarding his son's killer and gave him some details. Now, Mike, Brandon and Moggy, who works under Hill, were all scared as they didn't know what will happen next. Now Hill became like a madman and killed every suspect of his son's murder. But he didn't find that particular killer. Now Hill told all his men to search for the killer or things can end very bad, and they followed the orders. Now his men found a guy named Jerome and asked him whether or not he knows anything about the killer, but Jerome didn't say anything. Now Hill used Jerome's daughter to tell the truth, and at last Jerome had to spit out the truth and gave him a name, the Gacy brothers. Now Hill and his men went to Gacy brothers, who used human trafficking, drugs and all the illegal stuffs, but Hill came to know that it wasn't them. So Hill rescued all the girls which they found during the raid. Now Mike suggested Hill to take a break and to stop killing everyone, as this can affect their business. So Hill went to London and met Christie and gave him all the new documents and a new name, Patrick Hill. And that's how he got job in Fortico Company. Moving on to the next chapter named Bad Animal starts. In the first scene we can see some new characters: Jackson, Carlos, Brad, Tom and Jen. And it was Jen who killed Hill's son Doggy. And it seems like they are all retired armies with their conversation. And we can see they are the exact robbers which Hill was searching for. In the next scene we can see they rob a rich Arab guy and they are not happy with the amount they rob. So they targeted cash truck for big amount. With the help of insider, they stole their first cash truck. Now, they targeted another cash truck, so they planned and set for implementation. Now we are taken back to the same first scene where Hill's son got murdered, and that was their second cash truck to rob. The scene is shifted to 5 months later, and we can see Jackson, captain of the team, blaming Zan for murdering people in their previous assignment, as it was not in the plan. Now, Jackson announced another assignment and told them this could be their last job if they succeed, or endgame defeat. This time, their target was the depot to rob all the cash truck, which amount up to $180 million, and they had 8 weeks to plan for the robbery. In the next scene, we came to know that Jackson had a middleman inside the depot, which will help them to rob on Black Friday. And on the other side, Terry is worried about Hill because of his cold nature as to whether or not money will be saved on Black Friday on his card. Last chapter, named Liver, Lung, Spleen and Heart, starts. In the beginning of the scene, Jackson telling his wife final goodbye and went to pick up Jan. On the other side, Officer Terry instructed all the other guards to bring money safe and sound, as it was Black Friday, and Hill was assigned with Bullet for this job. When Jackson went Jan's house, he was surprised to see all the expensive stuffs and asked Jan how he could afford that much of money. Now Jan told he stole a credit card and gave a weird look at Jackson. In the next scene, Bullet and Hill were seen inside a truck, and Bullet told Hill that he was a person who helped robbing the cash truck. Bullet asked Hill to cooperate or else be killed, so Hill decided to cooperate. Now the robbers need to get inside the depot, so they tie Hill and all the robbers went inside the truck. All the robbers wore special costumes with full mask helmet, and Hill couldn't recognize anyone. As soon as they got inside the depot, they started their mission. First, they told everyone to stay down. Meanwhile, Dana and Shirley are still unaware of the situation. The robbers tried to enter the security room and told John to open the gate, or else they will shoot Bullet. Now, there is some serious shootout and action took place. One of the robbers, Brad, got shot, and after a while they started to load the truck with cash, and meanwhile Hill took opportunity to attack and freed himself. Now, Hill was looking for his son's murderer, as everyone was masked. Hill got shot again and the robbers escaped from the depot. 3 robbers out of 7 were alive: John, Jackson and Bullet. Now, SWAT team are in pursuit, but soon they lost him inside a tunnel. Zan told Bullet to go ahead and he would bring Jackson. Now, as Jackson was injured, Zan killed him. When Bullet asked Jan about his boss, Bullet was suspicious about Jan. When they reached the end of the tunnel, Jan killed Bullet, taking all the money with him. In the next scene, we can see Jan with his robe, and he heard phone ringing from one of his money bags. It was a tracker, which Hill put in one of the money bags before he got shot. Smart guy. Just then, we can see Hill sitting on a chair behind Zan. Hill gave Zan some papers and told him to read. In that paper, it was written how Doggy died, and Zan started to read about Doggy. It was stated that Doggy got shot in lungs, liver, spleen and heart, and that's how Hill shot Zan in liver, lungs, spleen and heart. Finally, Hill avenged his son's death, and that's how the movie ends. This movie is all about money heist and how a revengeful father avenged his son's death. The story of this movie is above average, and the graphics and special effects was spot on. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give a big thumbs up and do subscribe this channel for more awesome movies. Till then, stay safe, stay lovely.